All right. So, hello, everybody. If you're not here yet, I'm sure you will be, and I'm sure you'll be able to see it again at another time. I am Charissa Marie with CharissaMarie.com, and I have a special guest here today. It is Shelly, Miss Shelly Fitzgerald. Hello, Miss Fitzgerald.
Hello, nice to be here.
I'm so glad you were able to come here. I heard wonderful things about you, and so I had to track you down. And I hope you don't think I was a stalker, but I can be when things that get me happy. So I had to find out a little bit about you, and I just was intrigued by what you do. So tell me a little bit about you and Glow Center.
Yes, I can do that. I'm Shelly Fitzgerald, as you introduced me, and the Glow Center is a mission that is located in the Virginia Peninsula, and our we service single mom families and children through a variety of services that we have, like food, education, clothing, diapers, hygiene products, and such like. And so we started actually this year, Carissa, and we haven't gone 1 year yet. And but we're very excited about what's happening, and more excited about the wonderful moms that come to us on a weekly basis.
Now, what? How? So you're not quite a year old yet.
No, we actually started in February of this year. We had a Valentine luncheon for the single moms because, as you know, sometimes single moms don't get invited to the banquets that are for the couples.
Mhm.
And so we thought we would do something for them and their children. And so the moms who came started the Glow Center. And so they are still with us. Our center is for the long term care. And so we don't just give out a can of beans and say hello and goodbye. We want them to stay because we have education and training programs we would like for them to get involved with. So we're the end of this year, we would be about 10 months old. Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
So, like, what moved you to do this?
I there's several things, but one of the things I love travel. It's my hobby. And
I saw from your Facebook page because I stalked you a little bit.
you did you really? Sorry, I'm not on there too much.
But I saw the travel. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I do. I do enjoy it quite a bit. And it was on a trip to Kenya in Africa that I went to a center. And at the center, it was a center for women coming from refugee camps.
Hmm.
And they were women who had been through everything, marginalized, abandoned. Some of them had children from rape. And so this center was formed to help them help themselves. And so they had something called the African Women Sewing Project at the center, which I visited. And I remember going upstairs to the room where they were sitting at the sewing machine sewing. But Carissa, what got me was the look, the happy look on their faces. And they were singing a hymn. And I looking at them, and then on close examination, I saw the big cuts on their faces and the limbs that were missing, and yet they were so happy. And they made clothes that they sold, and they had a little cafeteria where they sold their little sandwiches, and they had a little store where they sold the stuff that they sold. But the atmosphere was trees and benches and just a happy place for the moms and their families. And I thought, wow, if we can do this here, why can't we do it in our cities where
Mhm.
we have moms who have need of this? And then the other thing was this statistic. That was quite a few years ago, but the it just came back in my lap a few years ago, Carissa, and the statistics overwhelm me. In single families, 47 to 49% right now, and climbing, are single moms.
Mm.
Is growing in our cities right here. And so the need is great. And so we just want to come alongside. Our mission is to strengthen, elevate, and educate single mom families with a goal to self sustainability and empowered living.
Oh my goodness. That's big. And it's one of those things that are it's so important what you're doing right now that like I just want to shout it from the rooftops. How do people get to know, how do they know to find you?
Well, we do have the website,
Hmm.
.org. They can contact us through that and through our phone number 837-866-8663. They can also email us at glowcenter2 at gmail.com. You
Okay.
just call us, you know. And so if a mom needs our services, she just has to call in, and we're open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 2. And but we accommodate moms because we understand that you're the breadwinner and you're working 9 to 5 maybe, and so you need extended hours. We will definitely accommodate you with the extended hours. But those are the three ways that you can contact us, and we get referrals too. Like
I was going to ask you if you got referrals because that's a big piece. It seems like since it's so connected to social services that they would refer. Do you get referrals from like social services
we get from centers
from centers? Mhm.
go, or maybe shelters where
Mm.
moms go. Um, One of the beautiful things is that, you know, the moms who start with us to see the mission that we have
Mm.
accomplishing them, and now the vision is being accomplished, where the vision is really to see them, um, you know, live nurtured and empowered to lead successful lives regardless of their income or their social status. And so, you know, we're seeing some of that happen before our eyes, and it's really exciting. And it's a motivator. And
Yeah.
I say, Carissa, that we get to do this. We really get to do this. And it's fueled by our faith in God, you know, that we do it. We have a team of wonderful volunteers who come in each week and they take care of everything. So I'm not doing this by myself. I might be the face here this evening. There's a whole army behind that comes out and takes care of the moms, and you know, and takes care of the clothing and the food, and you know, the diapers, everything. There's a lot of people involved with this.
Yeah, I checked out your website and you guys can find the website on this in this chat too. And it breaks down all the different services you have. It's like a treasure chest that people need to know about. And and it's so awesome too that you have a group of people to come in and help you because it takes a village and that speaks volume to their character and like the people who you're surrounding yourself with. That's awesome. I think too, with that being said, that's motivating for the women to see that. It encourages them like they're not alone. You know, we're in this together and they see you have people rally around you and they're like, "Hey, I we can make it through this." So that what you're doing is so awesome and much needed. Well, let's talk about like some of those issues concerning women that may bring them to your spot, whether it be because of homelessness or under what circumstances do you find a lot of women are coming there?
So I think the women who are coming because of need. Um, we have a range of women who are coming from churches, perhaps
Mhm.
community, but a good percentage of our women are coming from the shelters.
Okay. Mhm.
So the needs there are basic, very basic. Um, One of the things, for example, with our diaper bank, we started out with the food and the clothing. We figured if we can give a mom a week's worth of nice clothing, we asked for clean, gently used clothing to go to work with.
Mhm.
If she save in buying clothes, she can use it to buy school books or something, shoes for the children or something. And we give the food, the canned goods and stuff. And then we found out that the moms that we have, that when you're on any kind of government assistance, you're not allowed to buy diapers with that money. And so
Really?
as we that was a big news for us. And so 1 in 4 children in diapers in single mom families. And so that when we found that out, we knew that we had to get the diaper bank going. And then right after that, we found out that they're not allowed to buy pads, something women go through every.
Yeah.
And then and so we have this thing called period poverty. In addition to food poverty and housing poverty and clothing poverty, you have period poverty. And so we decided that we would go ahead and do that,
Mm.
provide, and it went like hot bread. It went off the shelves immediately. And so they were asking for other things though besides the pads, the deodorants and soap and shampoo, and especially when you're homeless,
Yeah.
you don't.
Mm.
And so we decided to make it more robust. And that is one part of our services that it's new, but that's the one we're trying to build up the most because it goes as quickly as it come. A mom with 3 teenage girls and mom, they need 4 sets every,
Yeah.
you see. And so those kinds of things were very much needed. And we're just happy to be able to provide it. We have some wonderful college students in the community who have come alongside us. And they said, we'll do a fundraiser. Our sorority will do a fundraiser for you. And so they
Oh, wow.
and the entrance fee was to bring diapers, and they did, and they showed up and they brought a whole bunch of the colors of diapers from. So now we able to give. We had to ration them, quite a bit,
Yeah.
but now we have a little more that we can give, and so we're pleased to be able to do that.
Goodness. Oh, that's awesome. And you need more of that. I cannot believe. So, you know what? Because I'm a logical thinker, it just drives me a little insane when things don't make logical sense to me. That a woman who has a child and is already struggling to put food on the table, some of her basic needs are not appreciated. Like you can't. You're a woman. You got to take care of yourself. That's news to me. I had no idea. In the diapers, like, duh.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I don't know if you have children, but you know that you can't take a child to a daycare center without the diapers.
Right.
Have
I
the
I I
I-
had I have a 29-year-old and I have a 14 and 12-year-old. So we're done with the diaper part.
but you've been there like
But
me.
I remember you had to have the stuff. You had
Yeah,
to have the formula, which is expensive nowadays. You had to have the diapers, the wipes. You
yes.
had to have the things, and the baby stuff's it's not cheap.
No, diapers are not cheap. And
Mm.
no, again, if we could provide some clothes or some food or
Mhm.
some diapers or some hygiene supplies, that's money they can save to
Yeah.
more important things that's needful for their children at the moment, you know. And so I've seen it working with my own eyes. I've seen it. Everybody, you know, they want to help themselves, and
Yeah.
they just need a little leg up. Just like the women in Kenya, they just need a little leg up, and they
Mhm.
thrive, and then they start going forward. And you know what's beautiful, Carissa, is that all our moms, they always want to give back. When they have gotten to a place, they be like, "Oh, Miss Shelly, I got this clothes over here. Can you use it? I got 4 tomatoes in my tree. Can I bring the 4 tomatoes?" I say, "Sweetie, whatever you bring, God will take it and multiply it. He always does." You know, so we are really blessed to be able to show them. We are faith based, so we do Bible studies with them, and that's really an encouragement and a foundation. One
Mhm.
of the things that they really ask about, all of them, is parenting classes, because
Ah.
yeah, you raise, and you're a mom and dad, you wearing two hats all the time. And so they ask for parenting classes, and we hope in the new year, that's one of the things we could bring about for them, you know. So it's growing, you know. Every month it grows a little bit more, but we're thankful and grateful.
Now, so for people who are watching in local and want to be able to come there and make sure that you have diapers and clothes and pads and things that women need, can they go to 321 Grafton in Yorktown?
Um, yes, during our open hours from 10 to 2 on Tuesday, and
Okay.
they can come by, but most times they call us beforehand because they
They
find
can call.
out,
Okay.
we coming by, you know, which is good. And then, you know, we take all anything we get. Sometimes, like, you know, they might bring like a stroller. No, we don't give out strollers, as you know, any kind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we have moms. And so we just call up a mom and say, "Hey, do you need a stroller?" And everything that comes in goes right back out. And
Wow.
then it's like a river, it flows. We don't want to be a pond that just stagnant. We want it to flow. So as it comes in, we give it out. And it goes out to the moms.
Well, I'm putting the number down so that people know they need to call first before just dropping through there. And if they go to your website, they'll be able to see how to contact you, the out and all the services. Like I just think that is phenomenal. I'm looking at them now.
Thank you.
Look at you. You have your food pantry, clothing closet. Yeah, I checked out the interview that you did with the local TV station, and that young lady looked so happy, and you could tell she just felt so blessed by the help that you all were giving, and that's got to be so rewarding. And you guys are just getting started, so imagine what you're going to feel like, and you've already felt that when you can see more people coming back to say, "Look at where I am now," and that you were a part of that.
Yes, and that young lady, has been with us from the beginning and has stayed with us, and so she is the example of our mission being accomplished in her, and our vision being accomplished in her. And I remember when she was without housing, and when she got her housing, I said, I asked her, "Do you need anything?" And she said, "Miss Shelley, I don't care if I don't have a bed to lay down on or a pillow. I am just so happy to have a roof over my head. I would lay on the floor with my children." And I visited her yesterday, and she has a house full of furniture right now. So God has just, yeah. So we see, you know, that vision of seeing our ladies. It doesn't matter what your income or your status is, you thrive in. And we
Mhm.
be hoping for when she's been part of our classes, and you know, our new classes, she would be part of any other class that we offer. And we've had really good people in the community who have offered their skills and say, "We can teach a GED class, or we could teach."
Oh, wow.
class. Especially single moms who have been through and been on the other side, and they're like, Michelle, I understand exactly what they're going through. And if I could teach them about insurance, for example, one mom said, I could
Mm,
teach them about how to shop for the right insurance because that's what I do, or teach them about financial freedom, or even housekeeping skills, or
mhm.
care for their children. There's all these things we just kind of take for granted, and so it's beautiful to see people from the community come forward and say, when you're ready, I'll be there. I'll be there to help you teach a class or to. And our volunteers are just wonderful. They all have different skill ranges and do different things, and they come by willingly. All of them work, but on their days off, they're right there at the Glow Center, giving their time, and so much appreciated. And so just I just feel so blessed to have these wonderful people around me.
Oh man, this is so awesome. I'm so glad that I that I got to know what this place was. Now, this is really important. This next question. So, Miss Shelley, I know how hard you work in the community because it's out there, and that requires a lot of emotional output. Like spiritual output and of physical. You're always giving, giving, giving. So, what I like to ask my guests, because this show is about empowering, encouraging, and enlightening, what do you do for your self care?
So that's a very good question. And I think that's a really important question because if I don't have anything inside of me to give, I'm going to run
Mhm.
on fumes and I'm not going to have anything to give to anybody. So I do take steps in that direction in the morning. When I wake up, I get in the word and that sustains me. I read a lot. I'm a nerd when it comes to reading. So I always look for self-help books, podcasts, conferences I attend. I'm always looking for some, online or something. I got my Kindle attached at my hip, so I'm always listening to audiobooks or reading. And sometimes I just go back and read books like, Covey or Simon Sinek. I go back. Henry Cloud is another person that is very great when it comes to motivating you and inspiring you. And so I go back and listen to things that they have to say because I have to fill my plate
Mhm.
full before I can share from my plate, And so I believe firmly in self-care and taking care. I do a lot of walking, and when I walk, I talk to myself. Yes, I do. Things that I think about. I run it through my head. I clear my head, and it gives clarity and freshness to thoughts. And so I do walk quite a bit, and I get away. I do get away. I love the travel, like as you know, and so God made a beautiful earth, and I want to see as much of it as possible. So I go. I love people, and I like people groups, and I like to. I'm very curious about their culture and the way they live. And Carissa, I found out that people are the same everywhere. They have the same likes, they want the same desires, they have the same hopes for their children, the same dreams. It might not be on mine and yours level, but it's the same everywhere. And people, are friendly and they're caring, and you treat them with respect and kindness, and you'll get that in return. So I
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. So, and the reason I love to ask is because I'm working, it's almost like a tutor section for me. When I hear my guests talk about what they do for self-care, because I am personally on a mission to do better with self-care myself. one of the things I like to do too is, and I have to get back to it. I haven't done it in a while. I'm a Kindle girl. Love my Kindle. But I always make an excuse lately. "Well, I don't have time to sit and," but it's so relaxing when I'm listening to something. I'm in the kitchen. I'm looking for reasons to stay in the kitchen so I can finish the audio book that I'm listening to. Um, and this is funny. It has nothing to do with self-care, but perhaps my quirkiness. So I do process a lot. I talk to myself out loud. I have to admit, I'm one of those.
I'm with you. I'm with
I
you.
do.
I'm
And
trying.
I was at the workplace, and it was the end of the work day, and I thought most of the people had gone, but my coworker whose office is right next to me heard me talking to myself, a full conversation. I mean, and I said, "Oh Lord, they gonna wonder what's wrong with me." But that's what I do. It's like I really like that's how I process things. And sometimes at the end of the day, or if I'm overthinking something that happened to me that day and I'm getting overly emotional, I have to talk it out.
Yes, I call it meditating out loud, and so you,
Yes.
yes, yeah, you kind of regurgitate into some things in your mind, and just working them through in your mind. So I don't think anything's wrong with that. I do
Thank
that.
you.
I really do. Yeah,
Good. I don't feel so bad now because my family, like, oh, there she goes again. Mommy's talking to herself. Mm,
yeah.
mm, mm.
I found out a secret to the reading though, because I have a family member, and they told me last year they read 52 books, and I didn't want to call them a liar, but how'd you do that? And it's called audiobooks. So they
Uh,
will commute to work, and so they can listen to a whole book
mhm.
on the car while they go to work, and another one when they come home. That's 2 books a day. That's
You
why.
can do it. My mom is she is the audiobook queen. She got me into it. She's
Yeah.
the audiobook queen, and sometimes I'll call her and I can hear the little audio going in the background. I'm like, "Mom, are you busy?" She said, "Well, yeah, actually, I'm listening to my book right now." I mean, yes, that's that. I thought there are not a lot of people that that really get into those audiobooks, but if you are, especially if you have a really good imagination, they are the best. You can create it all. I have the whole picture in your head and
Yes.
see it
Yeah.
happening.
Yes. Yeah. For me, reading is fun. It's nerdy, but it's fun for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is fun.
camping trip, so we drive, and we would listen to the books as we drive, and it'll make the time pass by, and we went through a whole book.
Mhm, mhm. I
Yes.
think what I've gotten the kids into, and I'm going to be doing it, they don't know this for this trip. They're getting older now, so it's getting kind of tricky. But the last big trip that we went on, my family's in Michigan, but we live in Virginia. Like we live in Virginia, but most of our people are in Michigan. And
Gotcha.
so I decided I wanted to get a book on tape because my husband drives, but I do really most of the driving. Just saying, I do most of the driving. So I think the driver is in charge of what we listen to.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
rule,
I
right?
yes.
So I tried to find a cute, it was a fun book. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a bunch of stories, like folk stories, African fables, but they were like some current, but they were African fables. And it kept us all engaged the whole most of the trip. It was kind of cool to be able
Yes.
to do that with the family.
Yes, but Carissa, when we talk to our millennial children and we say books on tape, they'll be like, "Huh?"
No, how about back in the day when I really, because I'm like this many old. And
Okay.
back in the day, where you would hear a really good song on the radio, you had to go grab that cassette, pop it
Yeah.
in there, and record it. These kids don't know nothing. They don't know
No.
nothing about that. They have it on easy street, but we have to, oh man, that's my song. Let me go get that on and it was a lot of work we had to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah, now they call it audiobooks.
Yep, now we got audiobooks. And I still have have some millennial friends who laugh at me when I mention the word CD.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't do that.
Keep, can't keep up. I can't keep up.
I can't either. I'm like, they're like, Carissa, no, the CD, you can just do it on your phone or something, but like, don't do the CD. But
That's
the reason I enjoy CDs, especially when it comes to music, because I'm a visual person, I like to see, how, records, you can see the picture, and it's always a big deal to get a record because you can see a visual. So
yes.
same thing for CDs. You can pull it out and look at, like, for instance, Janet Jackson. That's one of my faves. You
Yeah.
can see Janet Jackson and all the things like, oh, Janet Jackson, or whoever your person is.
Yeah.
But my millennial friends just don't think that's cool. They talk about my rain bonnet. I got dragged this week because it was raining, and my car is in the shop with my good umbrella that comes down here. It's a great umbrella, but I had remembered I had my bonnet, and I put the little rain bonnet on, and they dragged me. They said, "No, we don't do bonnets anymore."
It is the greatest generation, I think, still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it has been so much fun getting to know you, and I so hope we can do this again. Now, Miss Fitzgerald, if you ever have any, I saw that you had something in around the Thanksgiving holiday, but and also you had something going on. Was it Toys for Tots on your page at
Yeah,
some point? I think it's over now. But if you ever have anything going on, let me know. We can talk about it and get the word out there and let people know to get involved.
that sounds great, Carissa, and thank you for that. We are doing Christmas presents for all our children, and one of the unique things I think we were told about and decided to do it. We had a mom come through, and she was explaining when she saw the clothes in our closet. She started to
Mhm.
cry, and she said, "When I was a single mom, I wish I had clothes like this to go to work, but I was too ashamed to ask." You know,
Mm.
and she said, and then we said we were going to do the toys for the children, and she said, I remember that my children didn't have no money to buy me a toy for Christmas. And she said my daughter would run through the house looking for anything that she could find to wrap it up so she could have something to give to me. So this year, one of our wonderful volunteers, she opened the Christmas shop, and we had donated items like scarves and jewelry,
Mm.
and we invited the children to come in for the Thanksgiving dinner. And we secretly took them upstairs to the Christmas shop, and they shopped for their moms. So now, when we deliver the presents for the kids next week, all the moms will get a Christmas present from their children.
Oh, that is so sweet. I wish I'd known about that. Are you
Yeah.
guys, is this going to be something you might do every year now since it
Yeah.
was a hit?
Yeah, yeah, I think it was well received, and I think
Mhm.
it would be something we would do for the moms, because we want to make sure them. Another thing we would probably be doing is, for Valentine, is do something for them and their children, you know,
Mhm.
to show them love and have something special for them. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we want to do everything that we can, not just the physical food and clothing and stuff, but the enriching events.
Mhm.
Them know that they're loved, and we care for them, and we're here for the long haul with them. We're ready to, if they want to, we're ready to go on the long road with them. So that's our goal, and it is fun, Carissa. It's a joy. We welcome it. Yes, you do have days when you have hard work, but there's always joy in the journey, right? And
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
the joy fires you up to do it again and again. So we enjoy it. Yes.
Ah, ah, well, that's awesome. And so I don't want to hold you up all night. I just thank you so much that you had a moment to hang out with us and to let people know about the Glow Center, because I think everybody needs to know about the Glow Center. This is like big and it's needed in our communities. And it's one of those things that, as a little girl, I would want to help everyone and everybody, but it's one of those things that should be in everywhere. Like
Yeah,
there should be a Glow Center everywhere for people to get the help they need, get access, and get elevated. So
yeah.
thank you
Charissa,
for doing that.
Charissa, you need to help. You are helping by you inviting us to come on board. You are exposing us to a greater audience, to more moms, to more resources. So you are helping single moms by what you're doing right now. So we thank you for giving us to do this.
Thank you, Miss Shelley. Of course, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, yes. Well, thank you. We appreciate the time that you allow us on your show.
Thank you. So we're going to say, well, I'm going to hit the end button, but don't you go away as I end this broadcast. But we'll see you guys the next Friday. Next Friday is going to be fun, fun, fun too. Please check out all these links in the comments. You can find the link to the Glow Center. You can find how to get a hold of her via the Gmail. You can find the phone number. Don't just go dropping in. Call first. Do
It's
those things. All right.
okay if they drop in during business hours. That's fine too.
During business hours. You can drop in during business hours only. So,
It's all right. If you're going to bring a donation, we'll take it. We're not going to refuse it.
yes, absolutely. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you all.